On top of giving us a starting point for the franchise's story, there is something else Metal Gear Solid 3 teaches us in order to understand the entire saga and form our own theories of what transpires throughout its span. It's a rather ingenious concept they add to the lore of this universe that taps into things mentioned in Metal Gear Solid 2, and which is generally an important theme in the real world, the theme of perception. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's just talk about this whole concept on a grander scale. When you look at events in the world now or years back, don't you feel that sometimes there are pieces missing from the entire truth? I am trying to paint a picture here. If the truth is a puzzle, you need to have all the pieces in place in order to complete it, right? Now, what if a puzzle consists of 2000 pieces, but you only find 500 in front of you? It might be enough of its entirety to understand the theme of the image, but it's not the whole picture, is it? What if the company you bought the puzzle box from doesn't own the rights to all the pieces? The conclusion is you are only going to have a fragment of the whole picture. However, if you were not aware of the other 2500 pieces and the image you puzzled together was somehow wholesome and satisfying, would you mind not having the missing pieces at your disposal? I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like governments and also the media are like that company who distributes the 500 pieces and they remain silent about the other 2500 pieces because they are owned by someone else. Also, with events, it mostly boils down to a matter of perspective. What one party might deem honorable and right might be something hugely unjust and despicable to another. This concept is part of humanity's history throughout and a popular theme with movies and series because it is always interesting. The truth of things lies in between perspectives and perceptions, meaning in a whole lot of affairs there is no ultimate truth to things, but rather a lesson to be learned from it. So I try to describe the theme in itself as good as I can, and I hope you do understand my point. Now, let's tie this into the Metal Gear universe and Snake Eater. The game plays with perceptions quite well, which is one of the reasons why the story is so interesting. It purposefully feeds you wrong information at times, proving a point by doing so. The characters of Eva and Ocelot are perfect examples. We meet Eva for the first time during the cutscene where Volgin launches the nuke on the facility. With all the things happening, you might actually miss the conflicting information given here. She is introduced to us here as Sokolov's lover and a Russian spy. But didn't Sokolov want to defect? Didn't he desperately want to be reunited with his family? Is he just an asshole having a side thing with this Tatiana person? Later we get the information that two double agents are working in the Soviet Union. Adam, who turns out to be Ocelot, and Eva, who we are led to believe is Tatiana, the blonde bombshell that keeps teasing Snake with her feminine weaponry. I could list a lot more contradicting information about her, but ultimately each individual is meaningless. The truth is that there are several personas she plays and probably uses, but in reality she is a Chinese spy. That is a fact. While playing through Snake Eater the first time, I wondered why Ocelot purposefully tries to throw his colleague under the bus. We are led to believe that he is a loyal Soviet soldier, emphasized by his rank in the military. He is a squad leader, after all, of a special forces unit. The truth here is that he didn't know her, obviously, not because Adam and Eva were working alone, but because she wasn't Eva. Eva was actually a male. Ocelot notices really quick that there is something off about her, but because he is the perfect double triple mega agent, he rolls with it and uses her as a shield for himself. The big misperception fed to us is that the boss is a traitor to her country. which we all know from the ending of the game not to be true. In fact, she is an actual hero to her country, sacrificing her life to keep the peace. This is one perception that is validated as such in Metal Gear Solid 3. Going further with the story, we know Big Boss is the final boss in both MSX Metal Gear titles. The thing is, and it is a running theme with this series that events repeat themselves, that the story of Big Boss and her mentor the Boss and Solid Snake and Big Boss is basically identical. It is never truly fleshed out in the series how and why Big Boss becomes the villain. There are question marks remaining, especially regarding what he says in Metal Gear 2 before fighting Solid Snake. It just does not fit his character. Also, not once is the phrase "Luke, I'm your father" uttered during Metal Gear 2, but stated as a fact during Metal Gear Solid 1. Why? What makes the Metal Gear series stand out from a story standpoint is for once the individual themes of the games, but also how they play with perception. Going into the Big Boss trilogy, you'd expect an ending that clearly states and thus he became Darth Vader. But they don't do that. They are right not to do it because in the end Big Boss never became a villain. He became a bad guy in perception, from a certain perspective. But from Big Boss's own point of view, how is he evil? Some things he does are questionable, sure, but true villainy is something he never achieves throughout the games. I will go into more detail on Big Boss's status as a villain during lore videos of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, explaining the events between it and Metal Gear Solid 1. I won't do the MSX games, but rather explain the events from my perspective of what transpires. Because I think it makes more sense to do it this way in order to understand the story. Once again, thank you for your time, and I truly hope you liked this little video I did on the lore of Metal Gear Solid. If you did, I'd be happy to welcome you as a new subscriber to our channel, Ape Supremacy Entertainment. Also, I'd be happy to spark some new discussions in the comment sections with my theories about the game, so feel free to comment on anything you want to express about the theme itself, about Metal Gear Solid, or basically anything else you like to say. Also, please give me feedback about this video, because naturally I want to do better with these videos, since I really like sharing them with you and I want to provide the best possible quality I can. And the best way to do so is question what you do by having opinions of others meld with your own. So thank you and see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.